Hi Anne, lovely to see you here at the Film Bazaar. This is your first time at the Film Bazaar. Could you talk a bit about the company that you are representing and what you are kind of looking for at the Bazaar?
Hello, yes, my name is Anne-Sophie. I work for Asian Shadows. This is our first time here in Film Bazaar and the first time in India, so we are actually very exciting to be here. Our company is a production company in the beginning that started about 10 years ago, producing independent Chinese filmmakers like Wang Xiaoshuai, Lu Ye, Li Yu in China. And then since about the last 2 years, we decided to expand a bit and have a look at what was going on outside of China regarding production for independent Asian filmmakers. So we are now producing 2 films in Indonesia, a Korean-Taiwanese project. We produced last year a Taiwanese film as well. We're still producing in China.
But there was a Tibetan film, I think, also.
Oh, but we didn't produce that one.
Okay, you picked it up.
Yes,
Right.
actually, because we also have our sales company that we
Right.
started about a year ago. And for that company, we do sell and represent films that we produce, but also films that people come to us with, and they think we can make a difference.
Is that a usual model to have a production house and also be sales agents?
No, it's not a usual model. Usually, people just do
Either of-
sales or just do production. I come actually from the sales world, and the founder of the company comes from the production world. And since we managed to meet at some point, we decided to use both our strengths to create that.
Could you talk about what you are doing here in terms of looking at projects in the co-production market or looking at representing films? So, could you talk about what you've been up to in the last 3 days?
Yeah, actually the last 3 days have been very, very busy. A lot of meetings. I didn't really have time to watch any film, to be very honest. I spent a lot of time actually at the CoProduction Market to meet the new projects and hear their stories, see where they were at, which stage. And actually there are some projects that we met before in other film markets like Busan. So it's a good moment to meet them again. Maybe we had time to read the script in between, give them advice, and start maybe doing something together. So that was very interesting. I am also having a look at the works in progress that they are featuring here. They're actually very, very interesting films, and I wish I will have time to spend time at the viewing room to really watch the films before I leave. Otherwise, I hope they will send me links.
There's not much time now.
Yeah. And then I also meet a lot of people who get my name through the website, and just to give them advice and see what's going on here in India and how people work, produce.
Right. But what was the primary motivation to come to India? I mean, we see a lot of French producers here. Obviously, a lot of our films are kind of going internationally and competing in international film festivals, also winning. So, could you talk about from an outsider's perspective, from somebody who's looking at co-producing, how do you look at the Indian films?
Yes.
scene?
Well, actually, for the past 5 years, we've seen more and more Indian films coming outside of China, maybe in film festivals, but also being released. I lived in Hong Kong, and we saw not many, but great Indian films being released, and actually put it very, very well in the box office, to my surprise. And actually, yes, it started to be interesting, and we wanted to be part of it. So that's why we came here now, to really figure out what was going on, and if it was just a momentum that we had Lunchbox, Court, Three Idiots, that kind of film coming up, or if it's really a new trend for Indian cinema to reach for a new audience outside of India.
Right, and like I was saying, there are a lot of French producers. Is there something typically about French people falling in love with Indian cinema, or why this huge surge in interest? If there's
Well, I think the French are everywhere. Actually,
But we don't see a lot of German production houses
But actually, the French market is much bigger than the German market, and the first international sales company has been created in France about 26 years ago now. So it's just been what France has been good at, is finding new talents. And actually, when you go to the cinema in France, you can see such a diversity on the screen. This is actually amazing, and I've never seen anything like it anywhere else in the world. So it's just an interest that French people have for them to watch in the cinema, but also for them to introduce to other people. That's why French sales companies have been doing very, very well. Is that they're just genuinely interested in knowing more about others, other cultures, other forms of art, and they like to share it with the rest of the world.
And some of them have also co-produced some of the leading films that you mentioned. I think The Lunchbox was co-produced, Masan was also co-produced. So there are quite a few of these internationally acclaimed films have had French co-producers. So that's another thing. Also, because there are a lot of filmmakers here, I'm sure they've been looking at, or you've been explaining to them what exactly a sales agent does. So we know that it's a very important role. It's very important for new filmmakers, for films that have not been seen and heard, to be represented in the proper manner, whether it's with distributors, whether it's with festivals. So could you just talk a bit about the role and the importance of a sales agent?
Well, actually, a sales agent is kind of the middle person between the producer or the director who owns the right of the film and then the rest of the world, festivals and also distributors. It's not the job of the director or the producer to go in each country and know who can buy the film, who can show the film. That's actually the job of the sales agent, because that's some person who are used to travel. They know so many people from many different countries that they will know which person can be interested by that type of film. So yes, actually a sales agent can bring a lot more to the plate for film, because the sales agent will have a view, a policy, an understanding of what the life of the film can be, how to start with and where, in which festival, because not every film can go to Cannes, not every film is meant to go to Cannes, and you need to figure out what is the good start for the film to have the longest lifespan, and also to reach as many people in as many countries as possible.
Right. Also, at what stage would typically a sales agent get involved in a project? What is like the best?
Some sales agents get involved as early on as a treatment or a first draft of the screenplay, because then they can give advice and they can also sometimes put some money and invest in the film from the very beginning. They can also do pre-sale and try to sell the film before it's even made, just on the script.
But that doesn't happen
difficult
with the first-time directors.
Yeah,
obviously.
and this is quite difficult also for independent films. Usually it's more happening for kind of higher level films. But then with the rough cut, it's always good to start to contact sales agent, because then they will be able to give more advice on how to make the film and help it maybe have an angle that would be more international. And at the same time, it's also a good moment for the sales agent to start talking to film festivals or distributors about this great film coming up.
Right. And what do you look for when you're looking at various proposals from filmmakers at various stages? So what do you look at when shortlisting projects?
Yeah, well, actually what makes a film is a good story. So that's the most important, and that's what we look at, is what is the story, how you tell it. That's what matters to us. The budget or the casting, then it comes later on. But really what you should invest on more is definitely the script, how you tell the story.
Well, that's very generic. Give us something more. I'm saying when you're evaluating a filmmaker, you look at, obviously if it's a first time filmmaker, what would you look at? Because there would be not much of a reference material, right? So
no, there would be, well, sometimes they've made shorts, so it's already a good start for us, because then we can know how he puts the camera, how he can direct actors, what's his angle, what's his touch, what's the feeling of the film. That's very, very important.
And that's
for
advisable also if you want to make a first feature film, then that you probably should have a show reel of some sorts.
Yes, it's always good for us, because otherwise just with the script it's kind of
very difficult.
A film is a story, but it's also the way you show it on screen. So yes, if you can have some images, footages of what you've done, that's always very good help for us.
And how easy or difficult is it for rank outsider or newcomer to kind of reach a sales agent like you? So if these people were not here, would it be possible for them to kind of just look up on the site and send a mail saying that hey, this is what I have in mind, this is my previous work, I have a script and would be interested? Is that how also works?
Yes, that would also work. I mean, you can reach us through our website and send us your material, then we would definitely look at it. You don't have to come to a festival to talk to us. The thing is, if you're a first-time director or a first-time producer, how do you know who is a sales agent and who to talk to and who is the right sales agent for you? Because each sales agent has something different from the other, and your film may be good in this lineup but not good in this other.
Right.
That's the
But
difficulty
how would
of
you
it.
advise, or what would you advise, filmmakers like that? I mean, how should one go about?
Well, then if they have the chance to come in such film festival, is to try to meet as many people and get advices. Advices are always free, so you can ask as many questions as you want. I've met so many people these past few days. Maybe I will not work on their film. Most probably I will not. But then they got the advice, and I always give them the same advice: is come as early as you can, and yes, and spend time writing a good story, and try not to be impatient with your film. Yeah, take time. Even when the film is finished, you have really to think about the strategy and how you will put your film in the outside world. Where do you want your film to start at? That's a very, very important decision.
Right. And could you talk a bit about the kind of meetings you've had? Obviously, you won't be able to reveal too much in terms of what you are interested in. But if you could just talk a bit about the kind of questions that people are asking, and if and your general feedback on the Bazaar.
Well, the questions that people are asking is mostly how we work. As you said, they don't know what a sales agent is. So I actually give a lot of advice, and I explain a lot what we're doing, what's our job, how we work, how we split the money, what is a contract, what they should expect and not expect. So I've spent a lot of time actually explaining this. And then regarding meeting, it's so impressive here because I wasn't expecting anything before coming. And actually I met so many people that are so passionate about what they're doing. And it feels very good to be here and to meet these people and hear about their stories that are all touching in their ways. So yes, it's been really great.
Right. Thanks so much, Anne. It was lovely talking to you. And
you're welcome.
I hope you take a bag full of Indian films and projects.
Oh, I have many films to watch. That's not a problem.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.